Hi, good afternoon from downtown Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Joshua Benson for Fox Sports 1340 AM, Virginia's #1 source for all things Washington Wizards. And today we're going to give you a quick recap as to what happened on this two-game road trip. The Wizards first visited Atlanta and then came here to Memphis, Tennessee in back-to-back losses. Now let's start over in Atlanta, Georgia, where they played the Atlanta Hawks as close as any team could play the Atlanta Hawks, especially. It was a little hard to kind of match up with them. It was the first game of the season. Both different personnels on both teams, so it was a little difficult to actually scout them, I guess, if you will. Nonetheless, in the fourth quarter, that is where the bottom fell out for the Washington Wizards, where they gave up 33 points to be defeated by the Atlanta Hawks. So you thought that maybe after 2 days rest and the Grizzlies were on a back-to-back, they lost out in New York on Saturday. You thought that maybe Sunday night that the Washington Wizards would have their ducks in a row, if you will, and they'll be ready to face off against the Memphis Grizzlies. They started off a little sluggish, and then by the time the third quarter came, that was actually the first quarter that they outscored the Memphis Grizzlies. But then after that, the fourth quarter, Marc Gasol hit a big-time three with only 24 seconds left in the clock, and then that sent it over into overtime. And then again, that's when the bottom fell out for the Washington Wizards. They were outscored 13-3 in overtime. So the question is now moving forward, yes, it's still early in the season, but the Wizards do not want to get that mindset in, like, oh, it's only 4 games in, 5 games in, because sooner or later, these games will start to hurt the Washington Wizards as they try to make a playoff push later on towards the season. So now they face the Toronto Raptors for their season opener at the Red Checkmark at the Verizon Center out there in Washington, D.C. in Fox Sports 1340. We will be there live starting our pregame coverage around 5 p.m. Eastern time. The question is, how will they match up against the Raptors? We spoke to John Wall after the game, and John Wall talked about the play here in Memphis and how they just completely collapsed towards the end. And let's go to John and see what John had to say about that.
Just try to make a play, and he's smart vet. We went up and under, and I just tried to block a shot, and they called it. And then they came out, and Mike Conley hit a tough step back three. A couple of seconds left running down, so then it was a momentum. But we got a good look after that. I had to pull up 2 of them where I had a good look. We just didn't make shots, and I mean that's allowing both of us in the game to make plays. We didn't make those, and they made some tough shots.
All right, and then after speaking with John Wall, we got a chance to talk to Kelly Oubre about that second unit and what's going on with the lack of trust with each other, or maybe not necessarily getting on page with what Coach wants them to do. And Kelly Oubre mentioned that it's very imperative for this team to really, number one, trust the system, and number two, learn chemistry with each other. We spoke with Kelly Oubre about that after the game here in Memphis, and this is what Kelly had to say.
More discipline and just stay solid. Defense is my strong suit, and I don't feel like I'm doing the best job, taking care of my assignments. So we can start by every man just has to do his job, by everybody doing their job and worry about themselves. Collectively together, we'll all be better, I feel like that's the biggest thing, man. We just got to come together and just trust each other, trust the offense, trust coach a little bit more, because, we did everything right in preseason and training camp. It's just not carrying over into the real games. I don't know why we're putting added pressure on ourselves to go out there and do something that we know we can't do. So that's the biggest thing. Just going out there and do what we know we can do, man. We just got to trust the system.
All right, now we're back here in Memphis, Tennessee. Again, as mentioned, the Toronto Raptors, they beat the Detroit Pistons in their first game of the season, and then they narrowly lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the defending champions, and so they are ready. They're actually getting ready to face the Denver Nuggets Monday night before going over into Washington and facing Washington. So again, that game will start at 7 o'clock Eastern there in D.C. We'll be live on the scene. The question is, will the Washington Wizards turn things around in time enough to defeat the Toronto Raptors? That is definitely the hope. They do not want to start the season off 0-3. That is what Gortat told the media last night here in Memphis, that no, they do not want to go down 0-3. As for now, reporting in Bluff City in Memphis, Tennessee for Fox Sports 1340 AM, Virginia's #1 source for all things Washington Wizards, I'm Joshua Benson. We will see you in Washington, D.C. this coming Wednesday as for the home opener against the Toronto Raptors.